channel? Well, if you're not, hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
NFL Week 7 is here, guys. Season is flying by, right? Almost halfway through the season. Like always, I'll look at 3 big games like usual, including the Monday Nighter. We got a big Monday Nighter game. Lions versus Bucks. We'll talk that game. Chargers versus Colts. Big game as well. Cowboys versus Washington. Big divisional game there. We talk the big games here. Tough games to handicap as well at times. But we like to do that over here on Beat the Books. Favorite underdogs as well. We had a nice one come through last week on Seattle. Almost every week we're giving out a free underdog winner, guys. Could be 1, could be 2. And the teaser option is doing really well. Only missed out 1 this year. My 2 favorite teaser options last week came through. What was it? Pittsburgh and Dallas. Hopefully you did tail along with the Bears and Steelers as well. Free winners given out every week. Systemsportscapping.com or link.me/systemcapping for client opportunities, resume, records, and more. Currently handicapping UFC, PGA, NFL, and then NHL and MLB at low volume, very low volume. Maybe a pick or 2 a week in the NHL or MLB. Sometimes more depending if, I find things that hit the system. But usually back-to-backs and stuff don't as much. So obviously UFC, PGA, NFL, my main sports that I handicap, have a ton of long-term success in them and profitable every year. PGA is off this week, little market note, so no PGA card. And we had a nice outright winner last week for clients on Xander Schauffele in Japan, plus 1,000. Nice winning ticket there on Xander. He had to back him in that field, especially playing in Japan. Loves playing in Japan. I think his parents are Japanese, so that does help. But he also just plays really well there over history, and he definitely could win that event with that field, and he was playing good golf coming into the event. NFL Week 6 was great for free plays on the podcast. I did get caught by a few misses. I had Bills in a money line parlay. That ruined that money line parlay. I usually do 1 money line parlay a week, and it's usually 2 games or 3 games to get around plus money. Hit my solo spread on Bears plus 5.5, but we had a bad beat in that same game. Over 49.5. It landed on 49. Tough, right? Tough loss there. Did, get some value back though on that plus 5.5 Bears. I did mention on the podcast last week as well. I thought the Bears would hang around in that game. They had a shot to win outright as well. But I did like the plus 5.5. I think plus 4.5. It did move. We started seeing Washington money come in late, which I didn't agree with. And the Bears ended up winning outright. So, hats off to them. I talk about the Bears, guys. They won 3 in a row now. I think they're a solid team. And we continue to back them in good spots throughout the year. And we've been doing fairly well. I did like them at the beginning of the year as well. And they're starting to look and starting to play some good football. Circa Survivor, guys. I update you weekly with the Circa Survivor update, and we continue to stay in the tournament with both entries. Both entries stay alive. We had the Packers last week and then the Steelers as well. So we're setting up nicely heading into the second half shortly for Circa Survivor. There's around 4,000 entries left from 18,000. So we're doing well there with 2 entries pending. I have joined with a client, a long-term client of mine. We've been doing this for a few years now. Power rankings. Let's get into the power rankings. And there's a new team on top, guys. And well-deserved. They continue to find ways to win. Baker Mayfield's looking like an MVP. And I'll be the first to admit, I did not think the Bucs would be this good to start the year, especially after I saw all these injuries, right? But Baker Mayfield's playing really well. Playing like a dog, right? As they say. Just continues to come back. He won at least 3 games by himself due to late fourth quarter comebacks. It's been very impressive. And he's doing this without Mike Evans for partial of the season. Godwin has been hurt pretty much all year, and now Bucky Irving's out. And they continue to find ways. So hats off to the system, the coaching obviously as well. It's been very impressive what Baker Mayfield and this Bucs team is doing. And they're on top of the power rankings here. Packers move to second. They got a win. Cincinnati did come back a little bit, but it was some garbage time stuff. I think Packers handled them pretty well. You can argue and say maybe the Colts should be second or maybe the Lions, but the Lions did lose. So I think it's all movable, one or two teams here and there, right? But Colts at 3, they're 5-1, guys. They could easily be 6-0. Remember the Colts, we'll talk about more of them shortly, but they could be a 6-0 team right now. 5-1, and then the Lions lost to the Chiefs, so they moved down from the first spot. But Lions versus Bucks, hey, that could swap by next week because they are playing each other. And then Eagles and Bills continue to fall down the power rankings, guys. They continue to lose. They both lost back-to-back games. Maybe they're not as good as we thought they are. Again, power rankings change each week. Looking forward to see what happens by next week. And like teams like who would have thought, right? Bucks at the top. No one at the beginning of the year. Bucks top 10, sure. But Bucks at the top, nobody had this prediction. And then you just wouldn't really think like teams like the Ravens, Chargers, continue to struggle, not playing great football, not in the top 10 right now. Wouldn't have guessed that, to be honest, to start the year. Let's get into it. Let's get into the games. Water break. Much better. Chargers minus 1.5 at home versus the Colts. Total 48.5. Good game here, guys. A coin flip of the game? Sure, but let's really look at it here, right? Chargers banged up. They're banged up right now. Colts, healthier team coming into this game. Chargers, both running backs, of course, are out, right? You're trying to find a running back to replace Hampton, and of course, Harris, who went out early, right? O-line injured, halt. Herbert's still there. Wide receivers is fairly healthy, along with the D is fairly healthy as well. So they were able to pull off a win over the Dolphins last week, barely. 29-27. I have Miami's bottom 3 ranked team in the NFL, so beating them 29-27, concerning a little bit, right? Definitely concerning. But prior to that, they lost back-to-back games against the Giants and the Commanders. So I am concerned about this Chargers team. The Colts team, I'm definitely not concerned about. Besides, can they beat, that top-end team? I don't put the Chargers as a top-end team, but a good team. Right? Back-to-back wins over bad teams, the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Cardinals. Cardinals gave them a little bit of a scare there, which had me a little bit concerned. I don't think they were ready for Brissett and that offense. They were able to put up points. That wasn't the issue. The issue was the defensive end. And the Colts, that is their weakness, their defense. It's mainly the total yards, right? But this team, like I mentioned, they could easily be 6-0. That Rams game was a tough loss. Mitchell dropped the fumble at the 1 yard line. Remember that idiot play that his car, I think he was benched the next game for that. That would have tied the game. And then I think that I believe it went to overtime, and then Atwell catch like an 82-yard catch, bad play by the corner. So they were alive in that game. But yes, when the Colts played their best team, the Rams, they lost. So that is worth mentioning here, right? How good really are the Colts? They've been beating up mainly on bad teams for the most part. Besides, if you look at, they did beat Denver. So Denver, I have them as a good team, top 12, just outside of the top 10. I did not like what I see against the Jets. Denver, I still don't know what to think about them. They're just very inconsistent. Very good defense. The offense has been struggling. Knicks has been struggling. So both teams have beat Denver on the year. The best win goes to the Chargers. They beat the Chiefs, but it was in week 1, so I don't hold that to too much. I don't really look at that a ton. Head-to-head, they haven't played since 2022. So I don't even look at that. Teams totally different. Colts, 4th total yards in offense versus the Chargers, 6 total yards allowed on defense. Should be fun. What prevails, right? Colts can take advantage of the Chargers' subpar rush D, in my opinion. So I look out for Taylor to have a big game here. Chargers are allowing 124 a game on the ground, which is 20th in the NFL. So, Taylor could have a big game here. May want to look at his props over. Anytime touchdown is always live for Taylor here. Herbert could have a productive day here. I believe the way to beat the Colts is to throw on them. Brissett showed that last week. Colts do allow yards against the pass. Colts are healthier, playing the better ball right now. That's the only way I can lean, right? I can lean the Colts to win this game. I would look at the over. Both teams could be in the mid-20s to get over this score here. We know both can score, but both at time. Well, Chargers defense has been pretty good, let's be honest. But I don't think the Chargers are going to shut down the Colts offense. Right? We saw Miami put up 27. So why can't the Colts put up at least 24 here? Maybe win a 24-21 type game. Not a game I'm in love with from a side standpoint, but I'll lean the over, like the Taylor props over. I expect, a big run from him to get over that total, depending what the total is. Usually they come out more to the end of the week, the player props, so look out for that. If it's nothing crazy, then yeah, I'll be betting that player prop over on Taylor. Good game, though. Excited I'll be watching that game. Commanders -1.5 versus Cowboys. Total 55.5. Total alert, highest of the year, guys. This is the highest total that we've seen on the year, 55.5. I just never find... sure, it could go over. I get it. But I just... Like, it could be, 34-25 or whatever, right? It very, very easily could be. Both these teams, high-powered offenses, their defenses are questionable. But let's look at the total, right? Head-to-head under last time they played, 23-19. Not too sure if all the guys were in for that game, though. You may want to look into that a little further. Only once in the last 5 games it went over this total. So keep that in mind. Both teams had high-power offenses as well. That's something worth mentioning here. We get both teams coming off bad losses, right? Dallas lost to Carolina. It was on the road, but still. Yikes, And then Washington lost to the Bears at home. More respectful loss. I rate the Bears obviously better than Carolina. And, Washington just fumbled late in that game. That's why they lost the game, but still. They lost the game. So both coming off bad losses. Washington have been the better team on the year. Let's not deny it. Just had some trouble staying healthy. Scary Terry may be back for this game. I believe they've been holding him out for this game. So watch the injury report for that. They are getting a little healthier, Washington, but obviously they had some issues at running back. Debo's been banged up as well. And obviously Scary Terry. If they get Scary Terry back, I definitely like Washington here in this spot. It's just that defense is so poor in Dallas. It's so bad, guys. Listen to these D stats. How could you back Dallas here with this defensive stats? 32nd in total yards allowed. 30th in yards per play. So the big plays are there for Washington, and they're great at doing that. 32nd in passing yards allowed and 28th against the rush. In comes Washington's top 10 offense, right? 4th in yards per play, 2nd in rushing yards. Mind you, some of this due to Daniels rushing as well. Now I see why this total is so high. The Washington D is just not good. It's not good either. Better than Dallas, but not much better. 25th in total yards allowed, 18th versus the rush, 23rd versus the pass. So, Daniel's going to have a good game. Dak Prescott's going to have a good game here. And I get why you see this high total. I would still play the under. I believe it's going to be in the 50s, but maybe lower 50s. 55.5 is a lot. I'm not running to the window to play it, though, but I would back Washington here in this spot to bounce back after a tough loss. I think just this Dallas team's just not good, guys. Now, CeeDee Lamb, it would be interesting to see if he's back for this game. That obviously gives him an uptick to that offense, and probably that over is going to be getting closer at 55.5 if Lamb's playing, right? So watch for that. See if Lamb is going to be back for this game. Not too sure how long he was ruled out. He's not ruled out for the season, from what I hear. So he is live to play in this game. So definitely take a look at that. Yeah, so lean the Washington Commanders to get the road win here. I just can't bet 55.5 over, guys. I can't do it. So I'd have to play the under. And yeah, look at the Daniels props, Dak Prescott props. Any props to the over because of the high totals, something you want to look at. Right? That's what you want to do against the sports books on totals. When you see high totals, you bet player props over because that means there's going to be a lot of offense up and down the field, right? Monday Nighter. Big game. Love this game. This is the battle for first in the power rankings, guys. Bucks at Lions. Lions 5.5. Total 52.5. Just right off the bat, 5.5 is a lot of points. I would have to look at the Bucks plus 5.5 if I were to bet this game. Bucks continue to just find ways to win games. Speaking of high scoring games, 52.5 is high as well. I could see it getting there. I can see both teams putting up a ton of points. Right? We know the Bucks can, and we know the Lions can as well. So it wouldn't be surprised here. But yeah, just going back to this Bucks team, 5-1, they're just so scrappy. Tough to bet against. I've been betting against the Bucks a ton this year, so I'm happy. I just didn't think the Bucks would be 5-1 at this point, and Baker playing this good, and then especially with the injuries. MVP talk of Baker Mayfield, right, this year. Like I mentioned at the top of this podcast, he single-handedly won at least 3 games for them. It's been very impressive. The D too. The D's been good at times. I think it's really good against the rush. And it's going to come in handy, I would believe, against this Lions rushing offense. So we could see Goff having some success in the air here. They're 21st versus the pass. So keep that in mind, guys. You can throw on this Bucks team. Lions D has been solid on both sides, better than I expected. They've been better versus the rush. So I expect, again, QBs to be slinging around in this game. Baker and Goff, you may want to look at the over in their passing props. Watch injury report. Evans, Godwin would be nice to have some of them back. Bucky, Irving as well. If these guys go up, you can see the line move, right? So getting that 5.5 is something to look at. But I do believe Lions win this game in a close one. It's at home. You could say the Bucks are due for a loss. They've been continuing to win close games. So I look at something. And Lions also coming off a bad loss against the Chiefs. I expect them to bounce back here and play well at home. So I believe Lions win this game, but 5.5 is a lot against a good Bucks team. I can't bet that 5.5 on the Lions. So I would have to do it in a money line parlay, maybe a teaser option as well. But if I had to play the spread, it'd be Bucks plus 5.5. One note here, Branch is suspended for this game, guys. You saw that fight. He was tossing around Juju Smith-Schuster. He's suspended for this game. That's a big loss for the defense. So advantage Bucks there due to the Branch loss. I'll leave you guys like I always do with teaser options and underdogs. They continue to do well on the year. We just missed out on one teaser this week. This season. Let's continue to have success. Let's continue to have success for you guys. Last week, like I mentioned, it was Pittsburgh and Dallas. Dallas just got there. Carolina won by 3. Dallas, it was +4. And I mentioned that. If Carolina wins that game, they're live to win the game. I mentioned it on the podcast last week. If they win, it's probably by 3, and that's what happened. This week, let's see. Colts plus 7.5. We talked about that already. I don't really have to get into it too much. If the Chargers win, which they easily could, I have it close to a coin flip type of game. It's going to be close. It's not going to be Chargers by a blowout or by 10 or more. It'd be hard to see that. Could happen, sure. But, Colts are playing good football right now. I don't see them getting blown out to a Chargers team not playing great football. And then I like also the Falcons +9. You can get it +8.5, 9. So these are 6 or 7 point teasers that I always advise of you guys. San Francisco just banged up, right? And Falcons playing good football coming off the biggest win of the year over the Buffalo Bills. So I like Falcons plus the points there. Fred Warner's out for the year now. It's just, you thought Baltimore's bad. San Francisco's right there, guys. Right there with injuries. So I believe Falcons found something. I believe they were on a bye, right? Found something up that bye. And I think they're going to battle the Bucks for that division all year. Underdogs, underdogs, underdogs. We talked about it already. Colts, definitely live to win that game. A small underdog. I see some plus 110s out there. So you can back them there. That will be the underdog for this week. Been doing well in this segment. Almost a winner each week. I think 1 week was bad. We didn't get any right. But most weeks we're finding winners. Colts will be the play this week. That will do it, guys. That will do it. UFC is in Vancouver. So look out for the podcast tomorrow. It's a good card, very deep card. A lot of Canadians fighting on the card, but some good ones on the main card. I got Mike Malott, Juvidicius, Ariel Hawani's twin. Right? So, yeah, interesting card. So I'll be breaking that down next on the podcast tomorrow. Like I always say, guys, bet smart and know your limits. Enjoy this week.